Hi everybody, it's the Ruthless Jobber here. Welcome back to the channel. This is episode 17 of our invasion angle on TEW 9. Today is the 1st of December. For you it isn't. This is probably going to be uploaded around about the 7th or 8th of January, I think. So Happy New Year. Let's crack on. We start Raw off with a couple of pre-show matches. We've got Christian taking on Funaki. This was just to get our high spots match out of the way, to be honest. We had Christian get the win. I didn't choose the winner, but I thought they might give it to Christian. Wrestling rating was 52, 51 for the crowd, and 58 overall. Jindrak and Stasiak taking on the APA. Non-title match, just wanted to get Jindrak and Stasiak on the card, really, or a WCW team on the card at least. And this one, they gave the win to the APA in 15 minutes 21. Farouk pinned Mark Jindrak. 54 wrestling, 56 crowd, 62 overall, not too shabby. And then Diamond Dallas Page taking on Grandmaster Sexy, and this was Diamond Dallas Page win. He gets it in 11 minutes 59 by submission. 58 wrestling, 64 crowd, and 64 for the segment. Let's head into the main show then. We start off with a WCW promo with Booker T, Ric Flair, Scott Steiner, and Sting. And then Test comes out and interrupts, and he says, I need to get myself among the pigeons. I need to enter myself into this war that's going on between WCW and WWF, and I want to take one of you guys on tonight. I need to take on someone from the WCW. People need to start taking me a little bit more seriously. And you've probably already seen it there. We've signed Curt Hennig. Ric Flair says, you can take on a member of the WCW. You can take on our brand new signing, Curt Hennig. So we get a 74 for this segment, which I'm quite happy with. Recap gimmick changes. This will be for Curt Hennig. Adequate. Okay. Arrogant heel gimmick, yeah. Typical kind of, just a common sort of gimmick, really. But yeah, adequate, not great, but okay. But the most important thing, of course, Curt Hennig, now part of the WCW stable. So the match itself only gets a 68, but I mean, that's not... I'm not going to complain too much. Curt Hennig, I think, came in as well known and Test is recognisable. Hennig gets the win here in 7 minutes 18 by pinfall, illegally using the ropes for leverage. Yes, I wanted to give Curt Hennig a victory. He is absolutely killing it in my WCW save, and I'm just wondering whether he'll have the same impact. I know it's a few years later and it's a different save. Maybe he won't have quite the same impact, but it's just another kind of bit of a surprise for the WCW stable and another member. Yeah, so Curt Hennig got the win in 7 minutes 18. I've already gone through that, haven't I? Wrestling rating was 59. The crowd was 61. And yeah, 68 overall. Gene Okerlund interviews Chris Jericho ahead of his first Intercontinental title defense. And he'll be taking on the Good Father. It's just a general interview, really. We always try to have an interview segment. Just use Gene Okerlund, really. And it's the kind of way I like to do these sort of things. You know, when I was growing up watching wrestling in the early 90s, this is the kind of thing. You always had an interview segment somewhere with Gene Okerlund, and I like to do it. 68 rating overall. Let's head to the match. 78. I'm pleased with that. The Good Father's quite low down the card. In a decent match, Chris Jericho got the win here in 12 minutes 39 by submission. Defense number 2. Okay, yeah, I'm messed up somewhere, haven't I? When did he defend? He must have defended the belt on the last. Do you know? I'm lost. Defense number 2, apparently. I'll have to look that up. I must admit it's been a few days since I touched this save, and that's not an excuse. I should know what's going on. Anyway, let's forget any of that ever happened. 65 wrestling rating, 69 for the crowd, and 78 for the segment. Kurt Angle comes out and cuts a promo, and he starts talking about wanting some gold. He is an Olympic gold medalist, and it's only right that he should hold some sort of gold in the WWF. And he mentions the Intercontinental title, but he also kind of mentions the Hardcore Championship. And Rob Van Dam comes out and he immediately pounces on it. He says, there's no way in hell Kurt Angle, the great Kurt Angle, the technical performer, the real fighter, the person who can do it all in the ring, there's no way you are hardcore. And Kurt Angle looks a bit offended. He's like, I can be hardcore. I can be hardcore. There's nothing wrong with me. I'll show you I can be hardcore. And William Regal comes out. He is still our commissioner. He comes out and he says, I'm going to book a match tonight then. Kurt, you are going to take on, in a hardcore match, Jeff Hardy. and this gets a rating of 80. We've kicked off a storyline called We're Hardcore, which does involve Kurt Angle. So yeah, 80 rating overall. Pleased with that one. The Dudley Boys take on CW Anderson and Nathan Jones. Just a couple of jobbers. Token tag team match. Terrible wrestling. Non-existent crowd heat. The Dudley Boys get the win in 6 minutes 58. Devon Dudley forced Nathan Jones to submit. Nathan Jones was the weak link. Well, he's a jobber. He's not around for long. 40 wrestling, 36 crowd, 54 for the segment. Yeah, not great. A taped angle. It's a Big Show promo video, kind of showing his menace and prowess. Nothing more to it than that, really. I just sometimes, when the game kind of asks for, well, it doesn't ask for it, but it benefits if you have different types of angles. So I always just try to get a couple of taped angles on there. 72 rating overall, though, is a decent score. Vince McMahon comes out and he's about to introduce the Battle Royal for the WCW United States Championship. Shane McMahon comes out and starts arguing it. You can't do this. This is a WCW Championship. And Vince says, look, we've had this conversation. It's all written. It's documented that when you brought your guys over, Ric Flair signed them to WWF contracts, and any belts they hold for companies that are no longer in existence, they come under my jurisdiction. They come under the WWF's property. So this gets a rating of 64. And the match itself is 69. I don't know whether Battle Royals, can we get higher? Maybe. I mean, maybe if these were all major stars, yeah. 69 isn't bad considering the guys we've got here. So in a decent match, William Regal won the Battle Royal in 17 minutes 47. Now, there is an order of elimination, but I only gave the AI instructions to give the 8th and 9th eliminations. They were both at the same time. William Regal eliminated Dean Malenko and Buff Bagwell at the same time, right at the end. So whether they're both going to try and clothesline him out and he drops the rope and they fall, whatever, they are both eliminated at the same time by William Regal. So William Regal is the new WCW United States Heavyweight Champion. 57 wrestling, 58 crowd, 69 overall. So we've got a new storyline, the US title three-way. You can guess it's going to be between William Regal, Dean Malenko, and Buff Bagwell. We wanted a WCW guy in there because it is a WCW championship, if you like. And Dean Malenko, I think we can get some decent matches, maybe even some technical ones between Regal and Malenko. Stephanie McMahon's backstage with Steve Austin and Triple H is really disappointed that he's lost the Intercontinental belt. He's not particularly angry at anyone in particular. Maybe he's a little bit angry with Raven, but it's not about Raven. It's about him. I'm top of the game. I am the game. I should be holding that belt. I should be, I'm just disappointed I've lost. Steve Austin's trying to console him and said, look, I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for you. We are still a team. Sure, you don't have your gold, but look, it's not all about the gold. You go out there and every match now you perform in, you get yourself to the very top. And when such a time comes as I have to relinquish this belt, because Steve Austin's not going to say he's going to lose it, when I ever have to relinquish this belt, you're going to be up there and you're going to be the contender. You're going to be the one next in line for my championship. So yes, Stephanie's just here really just to, sort of aligning herself with Triple H. 67 rating overall. So Jeff Hardy taking on Kurt Angle in a hardcore match. This gets a really good rating. Well, better than maybe I thought. I didn't really know what to expect, actually. Obviously, Kurt Angle's a major star, but 72 overall for the wrestling, 77 crowd, and 74 for the segment. Kurt Angle got the win in 8 minutes, 8 seconds by submission. Yeah, quite happy with that one. So Kurt Angle has proved that he can be hardcore. We've got another taped promo here from Kevin Nash, cutting a promo on Chris Jericho. Again, not going to go into details here really, but 68 rating overall. This was just to get another taped promo. We didn't use Kevin Nash. Advanced this storyline. Unfortunately, it did lose heat though. Our main event, I know we didn't kind of do anything to build this, but we've got a promo here from King Eddie and The Rock, cutting the promo on Scott Steiner and Booker T. That's obviously going to be our main event. 72 overall, both storylines here advanced. Let's head into the match. 85. Is that possibly our best match yet? In a bout that had fantastic heat and good wrestling, WCW, Booker T and Scott Steiner defeated King Eddie and The Rock in 15 minutes 39 when Booker T submitted King Eddie after interference from Buff Bagwell. So yeah, normally we wouldn't kind of have King Eddie lose by submission, but hey, there was some interference, so maybe he couldn't get to the rope, and this is like, I would have got out of that if it wasn't for Buff Bagwell. This was our storytelling match, and we also, during the match, had Sting run in and attack The Rock. 74 wrestling, 85 crowd, and 85 overall. Really pleased with this. 3 storylines advancing, and one of them gaining heat. That was the Wrong Place, Wrong Time, which is the King Eddie, Buff Bagwell story. Or yeah, well, King Eddie and Scott Steiner, but I think Buff Bagwell's in there as well. So, no, I'm pleased with that. Post-match, you guessed it, we've got a mass brawl. So it's everyone kind of that was involved in the match. But we also have Kane come down and square up to Sting. So Sting last week kind of showed that he dismantled the Undertaker's bike. Obviously has angered Kane. He's come in, there's flames coming out, the pyro and everything for Kane. And he squares up to Sting. Everyone else kind of clears out. And Kane basically just beats down Sting a little bit until Kane kind of thinks he's had enough. 67 overall. Very disappointed with the Angle rating there. Let's see what we get for the show. 80. That's got to be our best show for a while. We've gained popularity in 4 regions. We would have gained in oceanic regions, but we're limited to the number of viewers. No, I'm really pleased with 80. That's much better, and we're not getting the penalty for storylines here, so hopefully we've now got enough. Financial report, made 200,000. We actually lost 100,000 on our B shows, so our money situation, although I'm not worried, I'd much rather it be back in the black sooner rather than later. Popularity recap, we've gained in a few places, and we haven't lost in the United States, which is obviously always a good thing. Arn Anderson thinks Mark Jindrak is a star in the making. Okay, drug test fees and Raw rating figures. Okay, fine. So let's bring this episode to a close then. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all again soon. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.